Hey, you got some news about some horror thing that's moving up here.
Oh, no, I just met them.
All right.
Northland Horror. And so I put them in touch with you because I know you're a big community person locally,
Yeah.
and they're wanting to make a footprint in the north. It's good. They didn't know about Plunge, and I showed them. And I mean,
Mm,
cosplay, horror, comics, it's all the
yeah.
same family. And like probably the one strength is kind of working together in that kind of
Yeah.
creative community. So I checked out some of their stuff, and it's just real cool. So I had the pleasure of
Mm.
meeting them. And it'd be nice to see them evolve. Like I appreciate a bit of horror, and then I was just seeing about going
Oh,
along with my work or something and having a bit of a scare fest or something.
yeah. I mean, like for with us, I mean, like Northern Horror. I mean, Shane himself, he does. He's a horror. He does a lot of horror. Horror. What's it called? Artwork. Right. He's right
Hmm.
into it. His favorite character is Ash from Evil Dead. And so I mean, I've watched all those movies growing up, and I've been used to be a huge fan of horror movies and all movies actually. I mean, I've
I
been,
always liked Hellraiser,
yeah. I
Pinhead,
mean,
Hellraiser
the
3.
books, the books down here somewhere. I mean, like Clive Barker stuff. I think
Yeah,
there's. I don't. Oh, I might be missing Hellbound
crazy
House,
dude.
but I've got Cabal, right? My favorite one out of all of his, which it's a monster movie, right? What is it called?
There's good art books of all his characters. They don't always get like heaps of screen time, but it's got some pretty good variety and freaky looking characters and stories.
Nightbreed. That's the one I was
Mm,
thinking of.
that's
This is what
that's it.
that's based on this. It's like one of the most ultimate monster movies you can go to, and it's a really good heroic arc. Like it's a totally different. It's a really interesting arc with Nightbreed because it's I think what he does with that is that he with Cabal, right? It's about a crazy, who you think is a crazy person because he's getting psychiatric help at the start, and he's like he's getting given these meds and being told that he's just imagining things and stuff, and it's like and it just builds and builds and it's scary as hell. I mean, really, I think I was like about when did it come out? I think it was 89 or something. It came out.
Yeah, it'd be back in the
Uh,
80s for
yeah, it was
sure.
about 88, 89 because the book here. Um, when was this written?
We can find out. Let's have a look.
Let me see. 80. This one's copyright 88. So this was printed. Paperback came out at 89. So I reckon around that time.
Oh, 1990, the Nightbreed movie. There you go.
Right. I had the
Close.
I had the picture book.
Wrong decade.
Yeah, I had the movie. I had the
Okay,
movie
with all the
art book.
characters. That was that.
Yeah.
I've got that.
Have you? I
Badass.
want to
But
look
yeah,
at
for
it.
any character designer, right? There's some awesome
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I was just. I mean, I came out of like Iron Maiden and Eddie and Megadeth and Metallica, and straight went into watching that movie. And when I was in Auckland, I had the movie poster from the VHS shop at that time, and I had copies of it as well. And I was like, and that's what got me into reading all his books, and I'm slowly recollecting his books. And I've got The Great Secret Show, I've got Cabal, and I got Everville this week as well. I can't remember if I've read Everville, but I think he's. I think it was the Great and Secret Show was it moved and turned into a comic book, and Nightbreed was of course a comic book from Epic Marvel series,
Yeah.
Marvel mature series, and they did a really cool job. Now, Boom, was it Boom that brought out Nightbreed a couple of years back, or was it IDW?
I'm not
They,
sure. Let's have a
no,
nose.
it wasn't that one. It was Hellraiser. Sorry, it was Hellraiser they brought out.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I've got a couple copies of it somewhere. I think a sketch version or something. Was it IDW? Could be, but
maybe.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So it's,
boom,
I mean,
boom. You're
Boom.
right, boom. Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who's into horror with imagination, like he's the opposite of Clive Barker. Sorry, Stephen King, right? So he's the fantasy horror writer compared to Stephen King's people and situation writer. So if you look, if you want something that's like the Tolkien version of horror, it's Clive Barker's your guy to go to. And yeah, so I mean, you said Hellraiser was your favorite. So what's your favorite horror movie?
I liked Hellraiser 3. They had that
Okay.
nightclub scene that was pretty good. I
Okay,
liked
so
going New Zealand. Brain Dead. Peter Jackson was was a favorite.
yeah.
What else do I like? I like most horror movies. I was a big Scream fan, but that kind of went out the window. Some movies just need to stop with the first one.
Yeah. Well, I think now Hellraiser 1 was when it's the first with the
with the ball hammer in the basement and then the blood brought back
and then the
guy.
second one was it the big log statue thing?
That was the third one.
Oh, that was the third one. So that's
one
the
that
artist?
fired out all the fish hooks and pulled off the chick's skin, and then they had
Yeah.
the nightclub scene where they just murdered everyone. That was good.
They use a lot more nightclub type scenes now, I've noticed, and a lot of like that sort of all-out attack that they do in movies now, where they didn't used to do that prior. It'll be just like
that's probably quite expensive with all the stuff. Like it'd be hard to pull off a powerful thing with that many people and things going on.
I remember hearing about how they use buckets of pig's blood in Hellraiser to give it its realism. And I think Christy, the actress who played Christy, or Kirsty, I think it was Christy, the main lead actress, she was like always felt sick because being around that and the smells. I think she was something like that. This is like going back about
fair enough.
87, when I first remember watching and hearing about the video retailer telling, library guy telling me, hey, a rental place telling me this is what's in it. I'm like about 15, 16 watching it. So, so I started really early, and I think my first horror movie was The Hand, the comic about the artist, illustrator who loses his hand. And
it's familiar.
Yeah, that was when it was on TV, and I remember watching it like this. Mom was holding me, and I'm watching it like this. Like I'm hugging my mom, and I'm like about
That's
10
a good horror movie.
9 or 8 years old. I think it's Richard Cronenberg or somebody like that in it. Oh, Michael Caine. Michael Caine's in that one.
That reminds me of the Seed People. That was a freaky man.
I don't know what was the Seed People. You're not talking about the tomatoes, are you?
No, but the Seed People's. It's got I'd have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's got It's really good. They're like a pod people. They get replicated, and then they go and make a squealing noise, and all point at them, and they take over the town and become all the civilians, and then they try and hide amongst them, pretending that they're pod people too. I can't remember. It's gonna make me seem ignorant now, but it was a goodie. Donald Sutherland, Seed People.
This is different. This is about
Body Snatchers. Invasions of the Body Snatchers. Pod People. There we go. That's close.
Is that what? Yeah. So it was something
that was a classic. Yeah, it's Spock in it as well.
Yeah, The Hand is Andrea Bertolucci and Andrea Marcovici and Michael Caine. Yeah, that was The Hand. And yeah, it's basically, what was it about? It's let me just bring it up here. A comic book artist. So this is my first horror movie ever. The Hand. And so the theme is horror movie. So the theme is So the theme is John Lansdale is a comic book artist who loses his right hand in a car accident. The hand was not found at the scene of the accident, but it soon returns by itself to follow John around and murder those who anger him. Right? So it's like, well, you don't
It's
want to
handy.
give that much of a plot away. But there's like someone who's written a whole biography of it, like that long sort of description of what it is. All you got to say is like murderous hand, right? That
Did you ever watch Idle Hands, like the black comedy about the similar thing where his hand turned bad?
Let me just check it. I might
It
have.
was like a
I've
Seth
heard
Green
of
or
it.
someone. It was a comedy, but a comedy horror. It's funny. His
I
hand got
think I
possessed
have.
by Satan because it was idle. It
No, that's what's that one come up?
would be a '90s movie, I'm pretty sure.
So there is a 99 movie. Is it the one? Seth
Yeah,
Green.
Idle Hands. Yeah, Seth Green. That's the
Yep.
one.
Yeah, I've
That's
watched this one.
that was funny as.
So teenage slacker's right hand becomes possessed with murderous intent. So now it's a teenage slacker. It's like the opposite of the guy who's working really hard as an artist to the young kid who's not working at all.
It might have been actually, in honor. It might have been inspired by that
Yeah,
original one. Could be.
that
I
would be
mean, I didn't
interesting.
think at the time, but probably. Yeah, all
So
inspired by something.
so I think it's 99. So watching Idle Hand is like watching an R-rated rendition of Beetlejuice. Um, it has the same tone as a Tim Burton classic, though it is basically a dark comedy. Emphasize the word dark as much as you can. There are some moments of graphic violence that the casual moviegoer might not expect out of a comedy.
Yeah.
So,
But most of us at that age would have really wanted that. So,
yeah,
all
I mean,
good.
I was just watching his. I would like. I think when I was living in Wollongong up in Auckland, I think I watched every single movie they had in a 3-year period in that library, because I'd been watching, like, I'll just go pick
Yeah, when you
drama,
rent out 10
comedy.
horrors.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
basically, no, it was like kind of like three action,
Oh,
three comedy, three horror. I mean, three drama or
so
horror, and
you're
it's
classier
basically
than
just,
me. I used to just get out a big pile of horrors to
yeah.
watch everyone.
Well, there's more imagination in it, isn't there? I mean, when you think about horror movies, because you're not just trying to frighten people, you're trying to like
Well, there's
create
probably more
a hero, a
mythology
villain.
and interesting, out there concepts. But I
Mm.
mean, it is the fear. It's the fear that you want. You want to be like hiding behind your hand or whatever. Like,
Now, so what was your first movie you watched? You said
first movie I watched, or first
first horror
horror
movie.
movie. Shit. I
Right. So
don't
that
know
was
off
The
the top.
Hand.
The first movie I watched was Goonies, which wasn't really a horror movie, but was scary for a
It
young
was,
kid. And
yeah.
then Return of the Jedi from memory. Seeing that in the
Goonies.
theaters was good.
I remember the Goonies. They're probably going to reboot it sometime.
Well, they
Now
kind
I
of did.
remember,
They made a movie on Hawaii that's like the sole ancestor of it. Like it's got some of the Goonies characters and little
okay,
Easter eggs in it when you watch it.
yeah,
It's got the same kind
interesting.
of storyline. Save the house. We're going to lose the house in the area, and
Yeah,
that's quite. It was all right. It was nice. It had Data in it, and he had the pincers of power. But he was just hanging out on the island. He was the guy's mate. But they put him
yeah,
in it on purpose because it was like Goonies.
crack up. I remember, yeah, I remember watching it on video. So I mean, because at that time, movies weren't the thing that I'd go and watch. It was just like go to was it just to go watch? Yeah, just to hire it a video. It was only a couple bucks, so that was the cheapest way to go. And
I
plus
used to.
yeah, when you're living in Moroa, the closest thing a movie theater is in Whangarei, and I don't ever think I actually went to a movie theater in Whangarei as a kid
Oh,
until as an adult. And the closest one I went to probably was at Kerikeri, which Shane used to work at some point,
oh,
back in the day.
interesting insight.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the first movie I went to was Ghost.
Ghost.
With the
That's an
Taiwanese girlfriend I
interesting one.
talked about before. Yeah, I remember she hitting on me, and the week after, it's a weird day today. Remember about that because it's because of Taiwan yesterday, and with China, and then I saw a photo because I was looking for photos that I had to put together a proposal for Plunge, and I was going through all the photos on Facebook, and one was posted in 2018 of her, and I was like, you know, and so I remember she said to me, "Have you seen Ghost?" I said, "Nah," and she said, "Well, let's go watch Ghost." So, and this is the first time I met her. She said, "Hey, would you like to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Okay." So we went, and it already started. So we made a date to go back and watch it the next week.
Oh,
Or
nice.
the next time, and we did.
Well, at least you chose the romantic horror movie. Well, not
Yeah,
horror,
it was
but
interesting. It wasn't like, I mean,
a
yeah,
little
she
bit
had some good
romantic.
dates. Yeah. I always wonder where she is. Like, this is like friggin' when I was 17, 18. So this is like about 30 odd years ago.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
life goes
so,
on. She'll be somewhere.
yeah, with
doing her
kids,
thing.
hopefully with kids of her own. Well,
Yeah.
not that I have any kids, but has lots of kids herself.